Welcome everyone to my channel and my home and my spot in my home. That everyone has their favourite spot that they feel most comfortable in, and this is mine. So welcome. My name is Jessica and I'm 36 years old, and I was diagnosed with MS on the 27th of September 2022. I think that's the main reason why I'm doing this channel, due to the MS diagnosis. There have been other things going on as well in the last couple of years, last few years, maybe extending, that I think are contributing factors that I want to discuss as well. I think I'm still trying to process a lot of things. So I think some things that I'll be covering, like the things that I've been through in the last couple of years, from going through PTSD, anxiety, chronic stress, burnout, different traumas that I've been through in my life as well, different addictions that I've battled with, changes of my diet because of the MS, issues with weight in regards to the inability to gain it, which is something I struggle with. And another reason why I wanted to use this platform, I guess, so that I can see visually for myself what I look like at this part of my journey. It's a lot easier doing it like this instead of blogging and taking photos and recording my weight and what I've eaten and all this sort of thing. So I figured it was just be a better visual cue to do. But yeah, we'll be touching on some exciting stuff as well. I want to discuss about things that I've learnt about the gut health and the vagus nerve, which is pretty cool stuff. So yeah, I'll be talking a bit about those as well. And yeah, I should probably give a disclaimer that I am not a medical professional or health professional in any way, shape, or form. These are things that I have purely learnt myself and things that I've experienced on my own journey. So please do not take anything I say as medical advice. If you feel like you need to get medical support from your GP, your specialist, even psychologist or psychiatrist or counsellor or whatever it may be, please do so. Don't listen to everything I say in that regard as solid advice. So it's just things that I've gone through and things that I've learnt. Maybe, I don't know if I need to do this or not, but do a trigger warning as well, that I will be talking about various different types of subjects. Anything from, as I said, PTSD and anxiety, stress, burnout, bit of traumas that I've been through, issues with addiction, but nothing too full on, more gambling and smoking as well. And just stuff about mental health in general and autoimmunity in regards to the MS. So yeah, trigger warning there if I need to do that. Why I've chosen this platform predominantly is because I'm a real person. I don't use filters or any of that stuff. I don't wear heavy makeup or anything like that. I'm just someone at home who is going through a hell of a lot of shit and is just trying to work out how to process it. So kind of like a diary, I guess. But as I said before, it's so that I can see where I'm at physically as well in this journey. It's easier for me to track because I'm at the pivotal point at the moment and the start of something. So I really want to be able to look back on this in, excuse me, pardon me, in a couple of months, 6 months, 12 months time, a couple of years time, whatever it may be, and go, wow, I've come a long way, and I'm excited to see that. So the very beginning, which is a bit nerve wracking, but yeah, really awesome and exciting at the same time. The other reason I'm doing this at the time that I'm doing it is because on a physical level, I'm the worst that I've ever been, in the sense that I'm the lightest I've ever been in regards to my weight. I had to change my diet pretty dramatically after I was diagnosed with MS, and I'll go into reasons as to why I did that in another episode, I guess. But there are a few other things going on at the moment which is stopping me from the ability to gain weight, which is making things very difficult. I'll touch on that in another recording as well, another episode. So yeah, I wanted to record it because it's the worst my MS symptoms have been as well since I was diagnosed. When I was first diagnosed with MS in September, the only real symptom that I had been experiencing for several months prior to that was really random nerve pain that I was getting in my back. Didn't know that it was nerve pain at the time. I think I started experiencing it in May or June 2022. And when I first went to the doctor about this pain, they suspected that it might have been kidney stones or something like that from what I described to them. So they sent me off for those tests and it came back negative. And I just said, it just comes every now and then. It's really strange. And at that time, it wasn't that bad. But then it got to, must have been early mid-September. And it was really, really bad, starting to get really bad. And I went to the GP the same day that I was experiencing it, and it was not letting up that day. And he looked at me and he goes, what you're experiencing, what you're telling me is nerve pain. He's like, why are you getting nerve pain? I'm like, I don't know. You're the bloody doctor. You tell me why I'm getting like really random nerve pain. And he said, it could be a few different things. And, he goes, it's a bit strange. He goes, but, it could be something like MS, but I really highly doubt it. So I probably wouldn't worry about it too much. And I just looked at him and I'm like, you can't vaguely mention something like that and just not do anything about it. He's like, no. He goes, we'll give you some medication and see how you go with that, and just see what happens. I was like, oh yeah, all right, no worries. And then obviously he's planted the seed in my brain, and I've gone, my anxiety's got the better of me, and yeah. So I had another appointment with him for something else the following week, I think it was, and I said to him at the same time, I said, look, you can't plant that seed. I said, you need to send me off for whatever tests you need to send me off for MS. Anyway, long story short, he sent me off for the tests. Sure enough, they came back and I had 14 lesions at the time on my brain. And it scared the bloody shit out of me. It really scared the shit out of me because I always had a feeling, I can't explain it. I always had a feeling something would go wrong with my health. And probably a lot of that was contributing because I grew up with a mum who was severely disabled, and she was all right mentally. It's just physically her muscles were just degenerative. They still don't know what it actually was, her condition. It was that rare. But she just deteriorated so much as she got older. And she was always sick, always sick, and always weak. And I've always had issues just with different things over the years, nothing too serious, but I've always sort of had this idea in the back of my head that, and my father passed away from motor neuron disease as well. So I think I've always had this idea that at some stage in my life, something was going to hit me health-wise, and whether it be anything to do with mum stuff or dad stuff or whatever it may be. I sort of always had, I just didn't think it would be MS. I didn't think that it would be MS. And that's another reason why I also don't have any children. I made that decision a little while ago, well, quite a while ago, to not have children because I was so worried about my DNA, what I would be passing on to my kids. And also, even though I can get genetic testing done, it wasn't just what I would be passing on to my children, it would be what I would get possibly as well. And even though I could get testing done to say yeah, I know. I initially thought that that would be something I would want to know, but once I found out that, yeah, you can get a definitive test to give you the yes or no answer, and if it is yes, you've got like a 99% chance that it will be yes, you kind of go, well, do I really want to know? And yeah, I don't think I want to know. So I made that decision to not know and to also not have children of my own because, one, I wouldn't want to carry it on to them. But two, I wouldn't want them to see me go through it if I ended up getting it, because whether it be mum stuff or dad stuff or whatever, because I know what it's like to grow up with a disabled mother, and then even at some stage see my father get unwell and pass away from that as well. And my mum passed away from her illness too, in a way. But yeah, so that was the decision that I came to a little while ago, or quite a while ago. And there are other things that have come into play with that, like in regards to the traumas and things that I've been through. I've been through quite a lot of sexual trauma in my life. So, in that regard, it was kind of easy to make that decision. But yeah, I do and have felt for a while there is a void there because I do not have children. But at the same time, in saying that, I am very lucky with the relationship that I have with my partner. He has a son from his previous relationship, and even though I've never treated him as my son, or expected him to treat me as his mother, he still manages to fill that void. um, and I still love him to pieces, and I've been a part of his life for 17 years now, and I wouldn't change a thing. So I think if it wasn't for him, I'd probably have that void a lot more than what I do. But yeah, he's definitely made things easier. So thanks, mate. So yeah, I've digressed a little bit, but that's okay. I can't think of where I was at. Yeah, so I probably need to talk about why make note of my MS symptoms that are the worst they are at the moment, because that's right, because yes, when I got the testing done and they came back and I had 14 lesions on my brain, so I was very lucky at the time, I guess. The neighbour that I lived next door to for the last, I've been here for 15 years, I think. Oh no, probably 12 or 13 years actually. And I think I've lived next door to her for, I don't know, 9 or 10 years. And I've never really spoken to her. And around the same time that I was diagnosed, I started talking to her. It was a bit strange, really. And very long story short, again, she had MS, or has MS. And it was just strange that I'd lived next door to her for so many years. And around exactly the same time that I was being diagnosed with MS, I started talking to her, and she's got MS and she's had MS for many, many years. So it was a bit strange, a bit like the universe just going, yeah, okay, this is when you guys need to meet up and this is why. So that was pretty funny looking back. But yeah, so she was a massive support to me when I was first diagnosed. And in all honesty, I do not know where I would be if it wasn't for her in a lot of regards when I was diagnosed with MS, because as I said, I was shit scared. It scared the shit out of me. And even though I knew something would always go wrong with my health, I just didn't think it would be MS. And it's bloody scary. It is really, really scary. And it's also really shit, even though I didn't think I thought it'd be all right. Um, I know I'm going to be okay. There's a lot happening at the moment. It's still really shit though. It's really hard going through this, especially when I've already been through a lot of shit in my life, and it's sort of like, for fuck's sake. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear or not, but how much more do I need to handle? Seriously, I've had enough. Between the amount of people that I've lost in my life, and I'm talking immediate family and friends, and shit that I've gone through, and traumas and abusive relationships, and all this negative crap in my life, it's just that I've just had enough. I've just had enough. Anyway, all right, enough of the wallowing now. So yeah, I was very lucky that I had a neighbour who was dealing with MS and had dealt with MS and had battled it basically by changing her diet and lifestyle. So I'm eternally grateful to her for guiding me and showing me and teaching me everything that I needed to learn at that time to help me through such a really tough time. And yeah, I will always be grateful for that. I'm also extremely, extremely to the bottom of my heart grateful for my partner. He we've been together for many years now, and he's always been by my side, and he's got his own shit that he's had to go through and his own demons, and we're fighting everything together and coming out stronger every time, and I love that. I love that. And even though I feel really bad sometimes because I put him through so much, I put him through a lot, but I don't mean to. It's not my fault, but I'm very aware of how much he does and who he is as a man, and I love him to pieces, and you know exactly who you are, darling. I love you. And yeah, back to the MS again. So the symptoms that I initially had, the only one that I could think of at the time was the nerve pain. And looking back, I had issues as well with massive brain fog and memory issues massively. I think I had trouble differentiating at the time because I was still so stuck in anxiety and PTSD at that stage that memory was neither here nor there for me. Like, it didn't really matter if I couldn't remember what I did 5 minutes ago because it was just normal. Or why I walked into a room for that matter. Um, and the other issue I was having as well was a really strange symptom. I was having very extreme anger outbursts. Like, nothing would happen and I would literally see red and want to kill and destroy. Like, it was so strange. And I remember saying to both my psychologists and psychiatrists, saying, something's not right. Like, I know what I'm like emotionally, how I can be up and down and anxious and whatever. I said, but these anger outbursts are next level strange. I said, they just come out of nowhere. They're triggered from very little, if anything, at times. And yeah, they're bloody scary. I don't like them. And my psychiatrist wanted to put me on medication. And I just said to her, I said, I don't think medication's the answer. I said, there's something else going on. And yeah, looking back, when I was diagnosed with the MS, I remember saying to my specialist, where some of the lesions are, could that be causing, anger outbursts and stuff like that? He said, yeah. He goes, yeah, it's, wherever he said it was, I can't remember. He said, yeah, but that could definitely be causing that sort of thing. And I was like, right, that explains that. So I'm glad I didn't take that really full-on medication to sort of stop it, because it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because I got a lesion there doing the bloody thing anyway. So anyway, so that's interesting. But yeah, so when I changed my diet, everything sort of got better for a period of time. The nerve pain went away. The memory was improving, and the anger outbursts went away. The other issues I was having was with my menstrual cycle, and that all cleared up. And yeah, at the time, I wasn't aware of any other symptoms that was going on, and as far as I could see, they were all getting better, which was great. I did start experiencing some new symptoms, and they've been a bit strange. Some make sense, some don't. And I started to freak out recently because I was getting these new symptoms, and I thought I was doing everything right from what I'd learnt from my neighbour and other resources that I'd learnt. The autoimmune protocol, the autoimmune solution, by Dr. Amy Myers, Dr. Mark Hyman, Terry Wall's protocol. So being on the paleo diet, anti-inflammatory diet, and doing all that stuff and trying to manage my stress, and I quit smoking and I quit drinking and all these other things, and all of a sudden I'm starting to get new symptoms. I'll tell you all of the symptoms that I get now. It's just going to be easier. But I started freaking out because I was like, well, I'm doing everything that I've learnt, and I feel better in a way because the other symptoms that I had have gone, but these new ones have come around and I don't understand why. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I know that my stress is still out of control. I can feel it in my body. I can feel that I'm constantly wired, no matter what I do in regards to trying to calm myself down, whether it be meditation or EFT tapping or burning essential oils or getting enough sleep or whatever it may be, even though sleep has been an issue on and off, and I'll talk about that later on as well. It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I just can't relax. And I will touch on that in another episode as to why that is the case. And I'll also explain what I found out as to why I feel like my body isn't absorbing all the nutrients that I'm actually consuming. I'm on a really great diet. I eat nothing but fruit, vegetables, and meat. I eat really, really well, but I can't explain it. I feel like my body is not absorbing all these nutrients. It's very bizarre feeling. And I eat a ridiculous amount of food for the day. I eat more than my partner does. And yet I'm small. I'm like shrinking and I'm still losing weight. It doesn't make any sense. But I've recently found out what might be causing that, which is good. And I'll discuss that in length as well. And I've probably said I'm recording this for the start of my journey. The main reason I'm doing these videos now is because it's the start of my journey. Even though I was diagnosed in September 2022, and all the other things that I've mentioned I've been through and experienced in my life, the reason I say my journey now is because I've recently signed up with a functional medicine practitioner. The reason I signed up with the functional medicine practitioner is because I got scared. I got really scared when I started experiencing new symptoms of the MS, and I couldn't work out what I was doing wrong, because as far as I knew, I was doing everything I needed to do right, in the sense that changing my diet, my lifestyle was what I needed to do in order for me to stop the MS from progressing, and so that I didn't need to take medication for it, which is what conventional medicine doctors want you to do. And from everything that I learned, I just learned there are other ways that you can heal yourself. And I'm still determined to know that now and to understand that and to pursue that. But there was something that I was still doing wrong. There was something that I was still missing. There's a puzzle. There's pieces to my puzzle that still need to be put in place. And I got scared. So I did some research and I got in touch with a functional medicine practitioner in Melbourne, which is near where I live. And instead of the resources that I was getting from overseas, which was just not viable when you want to talk to someone face to face. So yeah, when I say my journey, this is what I'm saying. The start of my journey is the start of my journey with a functional medicine practitioner. So it's pretty exciting stuff, really exciting times. There's a lot involved in it and a lot that I'm excited to cover and share and learn. And yeah, that'll be another thing that I talk about as well, will be sleep, the importance of sleep, the importance of managing your stress. And this is not just for someone who's got an autoimmune condition. This is for anyone who wants to just make their life better, I guess. And if I can impact or resonate with just one other person in anything that I talk about, I will be happy. I'll be happy. But as I said, the main reason I want to do this is for me as well, to document my progress at the start of my journey, see where I end up in the next couple of months, or couple of weeks, couple of months, couple of years, whatever it may be. I think that's the main thing. And do I want to think of anything else in regards to the symptoms that I want to record right now? Okay. So the MS symptoms are probably the worst they've ever been now. I had another scan done not long before I went and saw the functional medicine practitioner, before I sourced them, because, as I said, it scared the shit out of me. The lesions in my brain have doubled, approximately. And at that exact time, I wasn't having any new symptoms. It was probably within about a week or so, I started feeling the symptoms, and as I said, it scared me. And that's when I reached out and tried to find this functional medicine practitioner. So the new symptoms that I get now, and I get them every day, and depending on how much sleep I've had will depend on how bad they are. I get, let's see if I can pronounce it, trigeminal neuralgia. So in the face, my nerves in the face are very sensitive, especially my left-hand side. So it sort of feels like it's just dancing on my skin, which is a very bizarre feeling, like tingling sort of thing. It's not painful, it's just uncomfortable. I have extreme tension in my jaw and my neck and my shoulders, but I don't think that's the MS. I think that's a lot of tension, stress, anxiety and stuff that I hold in my body, so that might be slightly different. The MS for sure is my left eyelid. When I clench it shut like that, it delays opening. It's not doing it a great deal today, but yeah, so it's like, I can't explain it, but yeah, it delays opening sometimes. And my left arm and my left leg are the biggest pains that I have at the moment. They just get to a point, and it's hit and miss as to what they do each day. They have a mind of their own. And look, the right leg does get affected. Right arm hasn't really done anything, which is good. Thumbs up. But yeah, left arm, left leg have a mind of their own. So they get to a point where the muscles are just tight and tense and crampy and painful. And like when it happens in my arm, it feels like dead weight, and it's really painful actually. Yeah, that's not pleasant. And then the pain that I get in my wrist is quite significant. So yeah, it's not too bad at the moment, but yeah, that's probably the worst they've been. And yeah, if I don't get much sleep the night before, it makes it 10 times worse. So I am trying to get into the habit of where I sleep a lot better, get to bed at a decent hour, because I don't usually sleep all the way through now. There's various reasons as to why I wake up, and I'll go into that in another episode. But yeah, what else? I get these really weird headaches now. The only way I can describe them is that it kind of feels like there's a massive hand going across the back of my scalp and across like my whole scalp and just tightening and just all the time. It's not a headache, it's just this tension. It's very strange. I've not had that before. I've only had that the last few weeks. A symptom I was getting that I'm no longer getting, fingers crossed, knock on wood, that I won't get again, random bouts of nausea, and really bad hot flushes. But they seem to have subsided for a little while, knock on wood. Knock on wood. So yeah, that's good. And the other thing I am having, which isn't really related to the MS, but I think it's more related to the gut health, is that I've got a massive flare up on my skin, on my face at the moment. I'll zoom in so you can probably see all there. It's meant to be like a type of dermatitis, apparently. And I've got like pimples and stuff there. My skin's always been not too bad. That's new. So yeah, the functional medicine guy has told me that that's related to my gut health. So that'll be interesting to see if that starts to clear up soon now that I'm starting to treat it. I don't think I've received everything I need to do to start treating everything. And it's going to take time. I know that's going to take time. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that clears up as well. So, yeah, that's where I'm at, I guess. And I'm really excited to see what this does. Not just with the functional medicine man, but where I go physically, where I go mentally and emotionally, how much I improve, how much I don't improve. But yeah, I really wanted to record it this way. I think it's easier for me to do it so I can see where I'm at physically. And yeah, I think it'll be brilliant. And I'm really excited for you to join me. I'm really excited for you to watch and comment and share and tell me what I'm doing wrong, or not tell me what I'm doing wrong, but yeah, just be with me. Like, yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's really going to be cool. I will try and articulate things the best that I can without sort of guessing my way through. And that's probably something else I want to talk about. One thing that I have recently learned from my functional medicine practitioner is something called, sorry, it's a little bit off, just off to the side, something called earthing, where you take your shoes and socks off and you walk around on the bare ground, like outside, just connecting to earth. So if I remember correctly, your body is full of negative energy and the earth is full of positive energy, if that's correct, I hope. Otherwise, it's the other way around. And by doing that, it kind of neutralizes everything in your body. So it can help with, it can be an anti-inflammatory thing in your body. It can help with things like stress. It can help with sleep issues. There's a lot of different things it can help with. It's really, really interesting things to learn about and to do. It's so simple, just to take your shoes and socks off and go for a walk out on the grass. It's really easy and really simple. And I was having a really bad day the other day, and I just got to a point where my arm, I just wanted to chop it off. It was just like, oh my God, go away. And I was like, oh, I'll just try this earthing thing. And I put my phone aside and looked up, because apparently the act of looking down can have an effect on your mental health as well as your posture and all that sort of stuff as well. So I was just sort of looking up and looking at the sky and wandering around, and I was probably looking like a cray-cray person, but that's okay. And I was just walking around outside with my feet touching the grass for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes or something. And I definitely felt a shift. It didn't go away. The pain in my arm didn't go away. Didn't miraculously just go, whoop, gone. But yeah, I definitely felt a shift for the better. And I thought, well, it's not hurting anyone and it's not costing me anything. So yeah. So look it up. Earthing, very, very informative and easy stuff to do. But yeah, so that'll be something else that I probably talk about. And yeah, that's probably it that I can think of for today. I'm excited to be here, as I said, and extremely grateful for this platform, and really, really pumped to see what the next chapter brings with the functional medicine practitioner and my journey and the things that I've learnt and my health. And it's exciting times, and I'm absolutely thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled that you guys can be here and experience this with me. And I love this, and I'm very grateful for everything. So thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks. Bye.